All right, so let's dive into this Trump on Rogan thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, right? Like, imagine just scrolling through your podcast app
Right.
and seeing Donald Trump's name pop up
Oh, yeah.
as a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience.
It's definitely a big deal.
Like, what do you make of it?
Well, I think you got to hand it to him.
Yeah?
It's a smart move.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
Hmm.
Rogan has the biggest podcast in the U.S.
Huge.
and his audience,
Yeah,
it's like a gold mine for any politician,
exactly.
especially someone like Trump.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing him pop up on all sorts of podcasts these days.
Yeah, like Theo Vaughn's show.
Exactly. Theo Vaughn.
Huge following among young men.
It's like he's got this whole strategy mapped out.
Oh, absolutely.
Target these young male voters.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting?
What's that?
This demographic,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really have a great track record.
You mean with voting?
Yeah, they have notoriously low voter turnout rates.
Right.
So if Trump can actually get them engaged
Yeah.
through these podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
it could be a real game changer come election time.
Okay, so it's like a political strategy, but disguised as just casual podcast appearances.
Exactly, it's brilliant.
But okay, here's the thing I don't get.
What's that?
Trump and Rogan haven't always seen eye to eye.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember that whole thing where Trump publicly criticized Rogan?
Over the Robert Kennedy Jr. comments?
Yes.
Exactly.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's not like they're best buds or anything.
No, definitely not.
So why now?
Well,
Why go on the show now?
you got to think like Trump Rogan has millions of listeners,
Right.
that kind of exposure.
Yeah.
It's worth putting aside any personal disagreements.
So it's all about reaching those voters.
Yeah.
Directly.
Direct line.
Right to them.
Plus, don't forget the media frenzy.
Oh yeah, the headlines.
Social media buzz.
Everyone's talking about it,
Exactly.
whether they love him or hate him. It doesn't matter, he's in the spotlight.
And that's what he wants.
Always.
So it's working.
Definitely working.
Okay, so speaking of the election,
Yeah.
did you catch that part in the article?
About Kamala Harris
Yes.
reaching out to Rogan.
Her campaign's been talking to his team.
Wow.
Imagine if they both end up on his show.
That would be insane.
Yeah, imagine.
Both presidential candidates.
In the same podcast.
It makes you think
About what?
about the power of podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, are they the new town hall?
Interesting.
You know, these long form conversations,
Mm-hmm.
they feel more authentic,
Norway.
less staged than traditional media.
I see what you're saying.
Could they actually sway voters?
Especially younger voters
Yeah, the ones who aren't watching cable news.
who are tuning into podcasts instead.
Exactly.
It's fascinating.
It is.
Trump on Rogan.
Yeah,
Maybe Harris on Rogan too.
who knows? It's a whole new world of politics.
Definitely. What do you think?
About all of it. I think it's a sign of things to come.
How so?
This is how candidates are going to connect with voters
You think so? I do.
in the future.
Yeah, through these online platforms.
It's kind of wild, right?
It is.
We've come a long way from the days of just debates and town halls.
For sure.
It makes you wonder what's next.
Exactly.
Well, that's something to think about.
Yeah,
Thanks for breaking it all down.
of course.
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
I agree.
We'll have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Until next time,
See ya.
stay curious
Always.
and keep listening.